The Mysterious Mrs. A. Chapter 6. The Family. There's nothing special about Amgarten. It was just like any other village. I had to take multiple modes of transport to reach Amgat. I first took a train to Devariya from Delhi, and after alighting at the station, I went to the station master and inquired about the village. He told me how to reach the place and asked me who I was going to meet. I told him that I was from Delhi, but I was intending to visit someone here. He insisted and asked me who it was that I was going to meet, and I told him about Swamiji's wife. He knew her, and he knew Swamiji. He knew about the ongoing sex scandal and all the updates on the case as of today. I reached the village with the sun just disappearing to some other part of the earth. I had no specific plan in mind. If she refused to see me, I will have to go back to the station, take the waiting room, and stay there for the rest of the night. The house was big and looked well maintained. The fittings were decent, and I could see a large garden. The lawns were manicured and maintained. I gathered that the family was in good shape and definitely not abandoned or orphaned. A servant opened the door and he called out to the mistress in a loud voice to announce a stranger from Delhi. A lean and good looking lady, dressed in good clothes, rushed out and looked at me questioningly. I thought Pyare Mohan had come. Has he not come? Who are you? The voice was rich and heavily accented, Eastern UP accent. Pyare Mohan could not come, I said. Swamiji asked me to go. I am Rajesh, his disciple. I could not have done better, I thought. It came so spontaneously. The lie. Acha, so you are Rajesh. Pyaraji has never talked about you. Come in, I'll get you some tea and something to eat. We'll then talk. I had no clue that Pyare Mohan was a regular visitor to this house. It did not seem that the lady felt deserted or cheated by her husband. क्या बोले भाई तिवारी जी? अरे माफ करना स्वामी जी. Has he sent some money? Is he okay? He is fine. I hope you have read the newspapers. I read the news. I watch TV as well. I know Swamiji is in trouble, but all that will be okay. I know he is not that kind of man. Obviously, all the stories about Swamiji deserting his family were wrong. He was taking good care of his wife and children, and he had ensured that they do not get mixed up with whatever he is doing. देखिए, स्वामी जी ने आपके लिए संदेश भेजा है. He has asked me to tell you that they will soon release him and will be back at the ashram. He asked me to tell you and the children not to worry about him as the case against him is false. He has not sent any money, but he will send something soon. Is there any other help you require? Anything I can do for you? I said. There was a fleeting look of disappointment in her eyes, just passing. Must have been about the money part. She needed money for something. For visiting us. I'll tell you if there's anything I need. It's already dark and you must stay with us for the night. I'll get a room ready for you. Tell him that we love him and we do not believe in all these stories. Another thing, I said, it is possible that people from the press or TV may find out about you and start troubling you. Swamiji has told me that you should not entertain anybody or talk to anyone, whatever they say. Oh, yes, I understand. But very few people know about me. I'll definitely take care. I spent the night at the house. During dinner, the two children joined us. They were both grown up and looked smart. The girl was older and looked to be of marriageable age. Leelavati told me Leelavati told me that they were looking for a suitable match for her. Their father did not want them to study in any place other than Devariya, and so they could not study much. Swamiji had forbidden them to travel anywhere outside their district, and so they had to stay at home for most of the time. The children didn't seem to hold any resentment for their father for confining them here. It seemed like a happy and contented family to me. A few days after my visit to the village, all hell broke loose. The police told me that they had received a video clip showing Seema and others discussing an extortion plan. According to the news reports, Seema and other conspirators had done a sting operation on Swamiji and had demanded a sum of rupees 5 crore. This was exactly what Swamiji had claimed in the counter FIR. Three of the conspirators had been arrested and had reportedly confessed. Seema was absconding and the police had launched a manhunt. The most intriguing part, however, was the naming of one Mrs. A as a conspirator. The police would give absolutely no information about this mysterious Mrs. A. Interestingly, two of the three arrested conspirators were members of the party to which Swamiji belonged. What should I make of all this? On the one hand, we have Swamiji coming close to confessing that he was sorry for what he had done. The girl in question, who was actively appearing everywhere, crying rape, and telling that the police and the ashram were harassing her and even threatening to kill her, had now disappeared into thin air. To top it all, his own party has been now dragged into the conspiracy. Swamiji's bail plea was coming up for hearing in a week's time. Swamiji, I thought, are you a victim of your popularity or the perpetrator of the crime? Are you guilty or are you really innocent? Or both? The case of the anonymous Mrs. A was confounding. Who was this Mrs. A? And what role had she to play in this scandal? Was she the mastermind? Why was her name not revealed? Did the police know? Or were they hiding someone very powerful? The media was abuzz with all kinds of speculations. Some papers quoted reliable sources saying that there was a video that led to the latest unraveling. A video showing the conspirators talking openly about their extortion plan. And Seema was in it, leading the discussion. But why would the conspirators videotape such sensitive discussion that could expose them? There was this source, another reliable one, who claimed that the driver of a car which the conspirators had hired had shot the video. It was this driver who passed on the videotape to the police, the sources claimed. According to the source, he had videotaped the entire discussion at the request of the conspirators themselves. They wanted to ensure that none of them backed out of the deal for any reason, or even dream of squealing about it to the police. If caught, everyone would be punished. But why did they ask a driver of all the people to shoot the video? And how did the driver steal the video from them? Why did the driver go to the police? There are too many question marks. I used my sources and took a good look at the video shot by the conspirators. It was as plain as on Swamiji for a long time. I recognized Seema from her photographs in the papers and on TV. She looked very smart and confident, must be in her late 20s or early 30s, and looked quite the seductress she had turned out to be. But for a godman to fall for this nymph of a girl, well, can't blame the sadhu. He's a man after all. We have this grand tradition of temptress and seductress, don't we? Menka, Ramba, Urvashi. These women had tamed many a Urvashi. These women had tamed many a famed sannyasi. The video discussion was very novel and refreshing. There were four of them, and they spoke freely about Swamiji, how gullible he was, and what a sex maniac he had turned out to be, which was at the core of the conversation. How the sum of 5 crore will be divided, and who will get what share. Seema had done the bulk of the job and would justifiably be entitled to a lion's share of the booty, 1 crore. The other three would get 70 lakhs each, amounting to 2 crores and 10 lakhs. Add 1 crore and it makes 3 crore 10 lakhs out of 5 crores. Where will the balance go? You guessed it right. Mrs. A. Well, they did not say Mrs. A, but addressed her as Madam. The mystery of the Madam or Mrs. A, as the police have chosen to call her, should have been simple to resolve as the police had four conspirators in their bag. An inside source, however, told me that the three arrested people knew nothing about the Madam and it was Seema who was dealing with her directly. The three accused had never met her nor had they spoken to her. They told the police that it was the Madam and Seema who hatched the entire plan, and Madam worked through Seema only. Now Seema had vanished. I racked my brains to figure out who this anonymous Mrs. A could be. She must be someone connected to Swami. There was no motive. Either something that Swamiji had done to her or to someone close to her which had badly hurt her. The mystery lady did not wish to be seen and wanted to stay in the shadows. She knew Swamiji well enough to have suggested a sting. In fact, it could well be possible that Seema was not the first woman to be coerced into having sex with Swamiji, and only this mystery woman knew all about it. Was she one of his early victims? The lady seemed to be influential and moneyed to have organized all this. Who could it be? I know that Annabelle's name starts with A, and she was one woman who has seen Swamiji from real close quarters. I had seen her and heard I had seen her and heard her story. I also know that she hated Swamiji for what he had done to Mataji in the ashram. All the ingredients for a plausible revenge story were in place, and she was my prime suspect. She had reasons to defame Swamiji. She had reasons to stay in the shadows as she was a foreigner. The money, I suspect, was not her main motive. Maybe she intended to take some of it for the ashram, which badly needed funding, having lost Mataji, and no one knew about her. She had never come out against Swamiji in public, and thus she had a good cover. She could ruin Swamiji's life, hand over the money to the ashram, and go back to Sweden without ever being caught. There was a big problem now for Annabel, as I saw it. They would catch Seema eventually unless she were to disappear forever. Could that be possible? Could it be that Annabel somehow spirited Seema away and had got her killed? And the sting was smart enough to know that the girl would come under scrutiny and would be investigated. Swamiji had lodged a counter FIR claiming that he was a victim of blackmail and honey trapping. Three people have already confirmed this and had named Seema and Mrs. A as the prime conspirators. They were not aware of Mrs. A, but maybe Seema had given them this name, Mrs. A, short for Annabel. But Mrs. Annabel was not married, not that I know of. To find Annabel and talk to her. With all the latest developments, she might have already fled the country. Let me find out. End of chapter 6. Till the next episode, goodbye. Keep listening, keep liking. The Mysterious Mrs. A. Chapter 7. Annabel again. His ashram in Mehroli. My heart strangely was beating loudly as if there was danger ahead. If Annabel was really who I suspected her to be and had eliminated Seema, then she was a dangerous person. Maybe my wife was right. Maybe I should leave this private investigation of mine and go back to my normal life. Why should I put my family's future at stake for nothing that involved me except that I had met Swamiji and liked him? Annabel would case and had a plan B and plan C, which could involve eliminating those who could lead the authorities to her. What if I confronted her and got killed in the bargain? I was being dumb and foolhardy. But foolhardy. But Annabel too had impressed me during my meeting with her. She did not appear to be the cold blooded Mrs. A. Mrs. A could just be a coincidence. She had spoken to me freely about what she thought of for Mataji, but did not harbor any hateful thoughts or emotions. The lady I encountered at the ashram told me that Annabel was out and would return only after 3 p.m. Well, this is it. Annabel was not here, and it was possible that she was at the airport, which was not very far off from Heruli. But there would be no flights to Stockholm at this hour. Most international flights to the European countries leave at midnight and after. She could be in the lounge waiting. What could I do now? Wait for her and confirm her guilt if she doesn't turn up? Or leave and return another day? My determination and stubbornness surprised me. I no more cared for my life or for my family. I had transformed to the true seeker of truth, whatever that may be. I had to, for reasons unknown, find out the truth about the sting and the blackmail. Not that I really cared for Swamiji, but for myself. I hung out in the ashram and at 2 p.m. saw the ashram gates in an Uber. I heaved a sigh of relief. She had not fled, but that alone was not reason enough to acquit her. It surprised Annabel to see me again, but she hid her suspicions under her broad smile. Well, Mr. Rajesh, suspicions under her broad smile. Well, Mr. Rajesh, what brings you to the ashram? Nothing really, just passing by, and I thought I may as well meet you. Oh, that's so cute of you. Come, let's have some tea. and I gratefully accepted the snacks that came with it. It was well past lunchtime and my stomach was rumbling. Are you reading the papers about the case? I asked her casually. Oh, yes, I am. Quite a muddle, isn't it? For a year with this girl and then gets arrested only to claim that he is being blackmailed. The girl sleeps with the sadhu for a year and then claims that he had forced her into it. Now it turns out that there is a gang operating to extract money from the sadhu. Wow. Like replace believe it or not. Is it not? I could not help laughing. Yes, it sounded like sleaze fiction. Did you read about the mystery lady, Mrs. A? I dropped it as casually as I could. My, yes, I read that part. Mrs. A. Mastermind but anonymous. Who could it be? There was not a flicker in her eyes, nor a change of color on her face, not a single twitch of a muscle. She looked normal to me. Twitch of a muscle. She looked normal to me. Seems Swamiji bore her a big grudge. Now the victim, Seema, has disappeared. Who knows where? I said. Surely looks like a complicated situation to me. Hope HN gets out of the jail. Unsurprised me that Annabel felt HN had ruined Mataji and left her to die heartbroken. And yet she wished that he comes out of all this unscathed. Are you surprised, Rajesh? Look, what happens to anyone is not my karma. So why should I think ill of anyone or wish them bad? Who am I to judge HN? Best leave it to law and God. Annabel, I said, I feel ashamed that I had suspicions about you being Mrs. A. This was the best I could do to guilt. This girl could never be Mrs. A. What? She said. Really? You thought I was involved? That I am going to avenge what he did to Mataji? Mrs. A. Oh God. A for Annabel. A. Oh God. A for Annabel. Rajesh, I have nothing to do with HN. I would never even dream of revenge. Oh God, Rajesh, how could you? I'm sorry, Annabel, I said. But this case somehow has got into me and even the police do not know who this Mrs. A is. And they are hunting for Seema to seek answers. It seems Seema was engaged by this mystery woman. I thought whoever she was, the lady must have been close to Swamiji. Maybe he hurt her. Maybe he hurt her. Maybe he exploited her sexually. If not her, maybe someone close to her. I suspect that this was not the first time Swamiji had such relations with women. There you are, she said. It's true. This is in the ashram here. Mataji knew about it and she spoke to him too. I did not tell you all this because there was no reason for me to tell you. HN had forced one of Mataji's young disciples to have sex with him. Mataji warned him that she will tolerate anything but not this kind of behavior. In fact, she asked him to leave the ashram or she would report the matter. HN was peaking in popularity and was arrogant. He told Mataji that she was no more the force behind the ashram and that he would ensure that she suffered more than losing her disciples if she went to the police. He had influence and Mataji knew that. HN was also planning to get into politics, which Mataji did not like. They had a big conversation and there was a mutual agreement between them that HN would quit the ashram and Mataji would not go to the police. But Mataji was not happy in her heart that she had let a child suffer and had let off a criminal. She was also worried for HN who was married with two nice children. Mataji sent Pyare Mohan to the village where HN had sent his wife and children. She thought telling his wife about HN would have some salutary influence on him. His wife would act firmly and discipline him. But nothing came out of that visit. Pyare Mohan returned and told Mataji that HN's wife for accusing her husband. Mataji left the matter at that. And Pyare Mohan? I inquired. He is now handling the treasury at Swamiji's ashram. Yes, Pyare Mohan left with HN when the crunch time came. Who can blame him? We knew that Mataji was down and out for good, and this ashram had no future. Annabel, I said, I am sorry that I suspected you. Don't even think about it, she said. Swamiji got his bail as expected and returned to the ashram. The court which considered his bail application seemed to be in a fix about Swamiji's status as a criminal. The case by now was so complicated that both the aggrieved and the aggressor seemed to have committed crimes. Seema was still absconding, and the papers were even saying that the police had found her but had killed her in an encounter as she had explosive truths to reveal which would cause political upheaval. The judge that this was a unique case and granting bail to Swamiji did not mean that he was not guilty, but that there was no sound reason to deny bail. Before she had vanished, Seema's lawyers had opposed the bail, saying that he was a person of great influence and would definitely tamper with evidence and do everything to obstruct the process of justice. But these reasons now sounded hollow in the light of what the arrested conspirators had exposed about Seema, and she had fled, presumably to evade arrest. Who is Seema? Everyone was now asking. The press and the TV had assigned a horde of investigative journalists to find out about Seema. Seema Tripathi was from the state of UP, district Balia. Folklore has it that people from Balia are Baliatic, signifying an inherent arrogance and aggression of the people from the district. Seema ran away from home when she was 10 and somehow made her way to Delhi. Though she did not have the means, it seems she survived the vagaries of time in Delhi to grow into a beautiful girl. The journalists investigating her found that she had been in and out of trouble with authorities, but had come out of trouble without ever coming into police records. I could ascribe her progress best and how she managed her life through a network of benevolent benefactors. She was no virgin. She had the beauty and charm most men find hard to resist. But she did nothing this big and could have never aimed for crores. She had she had fallen into a trap set by Mrs. A and had now panicked and fled the city. Where could she have gone? Not to her village, for she had never gone there after turning her back on her family. The investigators had which would definitely spoil her case against Swamiji. Swamiji himself changed his story after release on bail. He was now claiming that he had never confessed to anything and was just feeling sorry for himself and his devotees, and that the apology was meant for the millions who had put faith in his devotees, and that the apology was meant for the millions who had put faith in him. He regretted that he had allowed the vile women to trap him. He was drugged and taped, and that was not sexual exploitation by him. The blackmailing had begun after the first they made him to have sex under threat, he claimed. He was the victim of a political conspiracy, and his own party members were jealous of his fame and popularity and thought that he would overtake senior members and become powerful in the party. But what about Mrs. A? Mrs. A. His contention was that there was no Mrs. A and that it was all part of Seema's plan to make it look like they did it at the behest of a mystery woman. She was Mrs. A, and as she did not want to share the spoils with others, she had created the she can get the biggest share. It was just a story. That is why even the conspirators knew nothing about Mrs. A. This was an anticlimax for all. Mrs. A was a figment of Seema's fertile imagination. It makes an ambitious. The party members approach her with a blackmail plan and ask her to work out the modus operandi. She thinks over it and comes up with a madam who will help her get close to Swamiji, and in return, she gets the biggest share when the money comes. She gets the biggest share when the money comes. Fair enough. He who contributes most gets the biggest slice of the case. But then, if there was no Mrs. A, then how did Seema gain Swamiji's confidence? No one knew Seema. The sleazy episodes, in fact, took place in an equally sleazy hotel room in Paharganj. Swamiji never brought her anywhere close to the ashram. How did the two meet? There are still some loose ends to tie up, and this case was definitely not over yet. Now that Swamiji was back, I attended the satsang. I do not know whether Swamiji will meet me, and I decided not to try and meet such a troubled soul. After the satsang, I bumped into Pyare Mohan, and he seemed to be in high spirits. क्यों मैंने everything will be right and Swamiji will return soon? Well, you see, I was right. Congratulations, I told him. It's so nice to have Swamiji back. I really pray for him every day. All of us did, he said. Did you meet him? Are, he's so fond of you. Pyare Mohanji, I said. He must be tired and depressed. Being in jail is difficult for a saint like him. No, that is not how he feels, Rajesh ji. He is not an ordinary man like us. He is the chosen one of God Himself. Wherever these saints go, that place is blessed. All the police and the inmates there are now His disciples, and He held satsangs there too. See him, he'll be happy. He is also free now. So, hurry. I took his advice and met Swamiji. He beamed at me and I touched his feet in reverence and respect. Beta, I knew you will come. Pyar visiting regularly and asking him about my welfare. Come, sit here. Swamiji, I said, I am sorry for whatever happened to you. Bhai, why should you feel sorry? What has happened to me? Nothing. See, am I not looking healthy and cheerful? But Swamiji, so much bad publicity must have hurt you. Yes, I am hurt. Not by the publicity, but the duplicity and deception of my own party members. I have given my resignation to the party and will soon announce my exit from politics for me again. What now, Swamiji? I asked. The case is still not over, and that girl too is missing. Only he can say what will happen now. Is it not, Rajesh Beta? Swamiji said, raising his hands. Rajesh Beta, Swamiji said, raising his hands towards the heaven. The girl is a misguided soul, and she came to me to teach me a lesson. I thought I had overcome my sensory desires, but how wrong I was. Beta, do you know that even the great Vishwamitra was seduced by Menka? This girl was my Menaka. Swamiji, I said, I had visited your family in their village when the police arrested you. Swamiji looked surprised. You did? Why? You know where they live. Swamiji was surprised but not angry with me. Forgive me, Swamiji, if I did something wrong. I was so deeply disturbed that I could not stop myself from thinking about you and the family. I discussed it with my who is also a devotee, and she told me about your wife and children. I was wondering how they would have felt about all this. I suddenly felt the urge to see them and satisfy myself that all is well with them. So nice of you, Rajesh Beta, Swamiji said. I'm truly touched by your sentiments for me and my family. Did you meet my wife and children? How are they doing? I told him what his wife had said to me about Swamiji, and he looked pleased. I also told him that she thought that Pyare Mohan had brought her money. Swamiji, she thought that Pyare Mohan had brought her money. Swamiji grew grim. Yes, she needed some money, but I cannot understand why so much. I send them enough to meet the monthly expenses and more. But of late she has been asking for huge amounts why she needs it. I remained silent and did not dig deeper. I did not know the family well to understand their financial requirements, and it was not my concern to. I shall send Pyare Mohan with some money, Swamiji said. But she has to understand that I am not rich like Bill Gates and Ambani. What? He said, laughing. I am a trustee, and people give money for the ashram, not for my personal use. Beta, I am glad you went there. Can you do me a favor? Can you visit them again? Anyway, I was. Why don't you go? Take your wife also. It will be nice for her too. This was the first time Swamiji had asked me to do something for him, and I could not refuse. He asked me to come in 2 days' time, by which time he will arrange for the money. He told me that he would bear all the travel expenses for me and my wife. End of chapter 7. Till the next episode, goodbye.